insights, picks, results. This is Wizard Sports Picks. Beyond the Lines.
Welcome to another edition of Beyond the Lines, presented by Wizard Sports Picks for Friday, April the 17th. Ian Cameron with you and ready to talk a UFL game for Week 4 of the UFL season and NBA Play-In Tournament action taking place on Friday. We'll tee up a couple of games and give you a couple picks in just a bit. First, though, as always, want to remind you, wizardsportspicks.com. Make sure you check out the website. We've got daily premium picks and, of course, long-term subscription passes available, 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, and 1-year all sports subscriptions available on the website. Currently, number one in the NHL, a profitable NBA season as well. And, of course, the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs are here starting this weekend, and the NBA playoffs are here starting this weekend. So a great time to check out any of the great handicappers at wizardsportspicks.com. It's been a great, profitable NHL and NBA season for me, looking to keep it going in the playoffs. MLB is going on as well, underway, and, of course, CFL in a couple months. Don't forget about that. So lots still to get involved with from a betting perspective. So make sure you check it out. And a reminder, too, you can enter your email address in the on the homepage of the website, and you'll be able to get free picks sent to your email inbox each day. So check it out at wizardsportspicks.com. All right, let's start with some NBA Play-In Tournament action. We got 2 Play-In Tournament games on Friday night. Both games will be deciding who gets the number 8 seed in their respective conferences. We're going to start with Charlotte taking on Orlando. We've got Charlotte 3.5 point road favorites, 217.5 the total. My thought process when it comes to the Orlando Magic is pretty simple, and that is stick a fork in Orlando. They're done. I truly believe that. This is a team that didn't play great down the stretch. This is a team that's got all kinds of rumblings swirling around them, that the players don't like Jamal Mosley. They want him out. They want him fired, specifically Paolo Banchero, that it's a toxic situation internally going on right now in the locker room with the Orlando Magic, and we have seen some real concerning performances from them down the stretch, highlighted by last Sunday, where a chance to host a play-in game and playing against a Boston Celtics team, basically playing the very end of their bench and their roster only, resting everybody else, and the Orlando Magic end up losing that game as double-digit favorites to the Boston Celtics. They pretty much trailed the majority of the game on Wednesday night in the play-in tournament against the Philadelphia 76ers. This team's just not playing well. They look out of sync. They look disjointed. And for a while, and they, mentally, it kind of looks like they want their season to end. Now, I'm not saying, they're going to purposely play like that, but there is no question that the Orlando Magic have some serious problems right now. Their offense has been disjointed. Their defense has been awful at times, especially in crunch time. And that's a problem against a very confident, young, up-and-coming Charlotte Hornets team that, look, did they play great against Miami? No. They made a lot of mistakes, but they survived. They got the win. And I think LaMelo Ball, and especially Con Kneppel, who had a real rough game against Miami, those two players in particular, they are capable of playing a lot better. I think they will play a lot better. And when you talk about home court advantages in the NBA, Orlando is nowhere near the top of the list. That's not some home court where you go there as a road team and you say, wow, that's a real tough place to play. No, I think Charlotte is the better team right now. Orlando has got some dysfunction going on right now in the Magic. A head coach clearly on the hot seat. Wouldn't shock me that if they lose this game, they make a coaching change. There's just a lot of bad vibes right now in my mind surrounding this Orlando team. I'm going to take the Charlotte Hornets on Friday night. We're going to lay the 3 with the Charlotte Hornets. There are some -3 out there with the Charlotte Hornets at various sports books, so shop around for it. Charlotte -3, -110, and I will split that with Charlotte team total over 110.5, because a lot of the times when the Charlotte Hornets cover, they go over their team total because their ability to score and their offense is usually the strength of the team, and I think they'll be able to eclipse that team total against Orlando. So we'll go with a split bet between Charlotte -3, -110, and Charlotte team total over 110.5 on Friday night in NBA play-in tournament action. All right, let's turn to UFL Week 4, and we have Friday Night Football on Fox between the Dallas Renegades and the Columbus Aviators. This is actually a rematch of a game last week between these same two teams, and they will go at it once again here in Week 4. Dallas, 5.5 point road favorites in this game, 47.5 the total between these two teams. I think the thing that stands out about Dallas is this team has been outstanding to begin the year. A great start to the season for Dallas, playing excellent football. Dallas beat Columbus last week in Dallas. They led by double digits most of the game, but Columbus actually got a backdoor score late in the game to get the point spread cover. Don't be fooled by that final score, though. To me, there is still a pretty wide gap between these two teams. I think Dallas is just simply the much better team. You actually look at last week, and for Columbus, it was Todd Haley, the offensive coordinator, who took over as the interim head coach for Columbus last week because Ted Ginn Jr., their regular head coach, was arrested for a DUI going into last week's game. He had to deal with that. He was not present for that game on the sidelines. Well, now Todd Haley has moved aside after being the interim head coach last week, and Ted Ginn will be back on the sidelines for this game. And with Ginn on the sidelines, they failed to cover in each of the two games that he was on the sidelines as head coach. We talked already in previous Beyond the Lines videos about the UFL and about this Columbus team, how this is the first time ever Ted Ginn has been a head coach. Inexperience is clearly showing. His team has made mistakes, from adjustments and a schematic standpoint. We've seen the opposing head coach get the better of Ted Ginn here early in the season. And if there's any head coach that's going to take advantage, it's Rick Neuheisel. Rick Neuheisel, the Dallas Renegades head coach, he has had this team ready every week. They've had a great game plan. Their offense has been great, led by quarterback Austin Reed. And their defense actually has gotten better throughout the course of the season as well. They've definitely got a much better defense than Columbus. We've seen this Columbus Aviators team really struggle, really get gashed, and give up points in bunches in each of their games to this point. And let's not forget their one previous home game, and this game is in Columbus, but their one previous home game, which came against the defending UFL champions, the DC Defenders, and they were really non-competitive in that game, losing by double digits. I don't think it's going to be any easier for Columbus this time around. You just have a better coaching staff, better offense, better quarterback, better defense, all residing with one team, and that team is the road favorite, the Dallas Renegades. I also like this game to go over the total. One thing I want to point out about UFL totals, UFL overs are on a 5-0 streak. 5-0 run to the over in this league since the start of last week. So what is the reason for that? Well, the offenses are getting in rhythm. It took a couple games, took a couple weeks for a lot of the offenses to get, on track and quarterbacks to start to get chemistry with their receivers and the offensive personnel to get comfortable with the game plan. But we are seeing the points really start to rack up. 4 games, 4 overs last week. The first game in week 4 on Thursday night, Louisville and Houston went over the total. And Dallas has been an over machine early in the season because of their offense. Columbus, their offense is a little bit ahead of their defense. I mean, we have seen Jalen McClendon look pretty solid at times at quarterback for Columbus. And they do have some talent on that side of the ball. So I do think at home they will score some points too. So I will go with side and total picks here for this UFL Friday night matchup. We'll take the Dallas Renegades -5.5, -110, and we'll also take over 47.5. Actually, there's a 47 at Caesars. We'll go over 47, -115 with the total for this Friday night game. So Dallas -5.5, -110, as well as Dallas, Columbus over 47, -115 for my 2 Friday night UFL picks for the Dallas Columbus game. All right, that's a wrap for this edition of Beyond the Lines. Thanks for tuning in as always, and make sure you get to the website, wizardsportspicks.com, and get on board with any daily premium picks from all of the great handicappers on the website. As always, again, thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button on the way out. I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Friday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And thanks for tuning in to the Friday, April 17th edition of Beyond the Lines, presented by Wizard Sports Picks.